Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, December 3rd. On today's show, we show you where you can learn to grow Florida roses. We'll discuss how to live healthy through the holidays. And we'll talk to Emerson Ross, who has had 12 full-time pastorates, 13 interim pastorates, and still counting. But first, don't forget that the gift shop holds its annual extravaganza event today, where you can not only shop, but you can meet the creative minds behind the items and get free gift wrapping to boot. The gift shop extravaganza happens from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the gift shop and the social center. Today, we also have the final Get to Know Your Neighbor event, and it's for everyone who grew up in the Northeast. All Northeasterners are welcome to a special social event with the ever-present refreshments this morning at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And the Suzy Q is staying busy all December, offering boat tours for all your visiting family members and friends. Now this month, they're adding some special sunset cruises, so you can enjoy the Christmas lights and singing carols out on the water. These sunset cruises are just $5 and are offered for the next 3 Mondays, December 9th, 16th, and 23rd, leaving at 5 p.m. To sign up, call the Island Greeter Desk at 454-2136. Now, the Suzy Q is also taking reservations for 2014. In addition to the normal lunch trips at Matanzas Inn, Rum Runners, and Woody's on Pine Island, some new destinations will be offered on Fridays, such as the Lighthouse Restaurant, the Green Flash on Captiva, Marker 92 in Cape Coral, and several destinations in downtown Fort Myers. Just call the Island Greeter Desk at 454-2136 to reserve your spot. Also, you can charter the Suzy Q if you want to tour a group of visitors or perhaps have a court party you'd like to make extra special. For information on chartering the Suzy Q, call Melody Desolé at 454-2290. Now, on to the events you need to know about. The Shell Point Garden Society meets tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Woodlands Oak Room, where they will be talking about growing roses in Florida. We talked to the founders of the Garden Society, Sue Moore and Susan Schmitt, to find out more.
The Shell Point Garden Society started about 4 years ago when Sue Moore said to me, "You know, we need a garden club." And Shell Point made it really easy for us to start a garden club.
There's much to learn about Florida gardening. A lot of people, especially new people down here, are used to gardening up north, but it's a whole different experience down here. Different plants, different kind of soil, different acidity in the soil. It just is a very different experience down here, so there is a lot to learn.
I was a Virginia gardener, and I was used to planting in April and harvesting before the middle of October. So that was my planting schedule. And I was used to clay soil where you had to add lots of peat moss. And we even added sand in Virginia. So here we had to learn how to deal with porous soil where you have to fertilize a lot, and we didn't need to add any sand in Florida. So garden lovers, if you're a garden lover, we hope you will consider coming to our meetings, and we want everybody to feel included, whether you're an actual gardener with dirt under your nails or not. It's on a Wednesday. Our meetings are always the first Wednesday of the month. In December, a friend of Sue's, Penny Crawford, is coming from Rose Glen Gardens, and she's going to talk about growing Florida roses in Florida. And she will have some roses as gifts, I think probably little bushes.
I think gardening is wonderful because it's one of the very few things that we can control. There's so much of my life that I don't seem to be able to control, but in my garden, I'm it. If I don't like it, I tear it out. If I like it, I develop it and maybe share it with somebody else. Plants are exciting and they're wonderful.
We have a few notes now about tackling the holiday blues, which are a big problem for everyone, whether you're retired or not. It's especially tough if you have vision issues, which prevent you from doing the things you used to. How do you cope with the holiday blues? Well, find out from Dr. Chris Vadalato, our Director of Behavioral Health, who will be speaking to the Vision Enrichment Group next Tuesday, December 10th. Now, because we know offering these questions in a public setting might be a little embarrassing, Dr. Vadalato has offered to answer questions sent to him through the mail. So, write out a question about the holiday blues and send it via campus mail to Behavioral Health, and he'll answer them at the Vision Enrichment Group meeting next Tuesday, December 10th at 10:15 a.m. in the Social Center on the island. Now, another big part of the holiday blues is loneliness. If you don't have someone to enjoy a holiday meal with, why would you venture out to a place like the Crystal Room? Well, now, Shell Point is providing a place for you. The Crystal Room now offers a singles table every Monday and Wednesday evening, starting at 5:30 p.m. Now, the purpose of the singles table is not to match people up. It's just to offer a fun place where single people can enjoy a meal with the company of others without feeling like they have to eat alone. Now, to find out more or to make reservations, call the Crystal Room at 454-2199. Eating and socializing are big pillars of our Life Quest program, which encourages people to develop wellness in 6 different dimensions. Now, to this end, we have established a group called Living Healthy, which gathers both residents and employees each week to offer tips on how to stay on the right track with diet and exercise. They meet every Tuesday at 11:45 in the Osprey Room on the island. Michelle Smith tells us more.
I'm Mary Franklin here today with Michelle Smith, the fitness supervisor, to talk about an exciting new program in the Health Connection starting on October 1st. It is titled Living Healthy. It's going to meet every Tuesday at 11:45 a.m. for 30 minutes in the Osprey Room. Michelle, what is Living Healthy all about?
I'm very excited to offer this class, and the class is all about being active, living a healthy lifestyle, your overall wellness. So we're going to meet for about 30 minutes once a week, employees and residents together, to discuss our healthy living options, how we can increase possibly our exercise or decrease our caloric intake with meals, just topics that we want to learn more about. This is all about the class.
And Shell Point decided, since the residents were doing Life Quests, we have introduced Life Quests to all of our employees, and we thought this would be a great mutual program that everyone can go to and receive a lot of great information. Now, Michelle, you have had some past experience in this?
Absolutely. I worked for 5 years at a leading weight loss and nutrition company, so I bring a lot of credibility and experience to the class that I'm very excited about.
And you'll be teaching most of the classes, but you'll bring in some guest speakers as well?
Cheryl, Mel, and Craig, our other fitness coordinators, will be joining me to present their specialty from time to time. So it's not always going to be me presenting the topic. I also ask for suggestions from residents and employees on what they're interested in too.
And so this isn't so much as you're weighing in every week, it's more about checking in, getting tips, so that if your goal is to lose weight, this would be a great place to get some inspiration, or just learning how to live well, correct?
Correct. There will be no scale, no measuring, just a group setting where we can talk about health and exercise and fitness.
Well, a lot of people have been asking for this program. We are excited to bring it to you. It will start on Tuesday, October 1st. It will run every Tuesday. No need to sign up. Just come when you can in the Osprey Room at 11:45 a.m. I am Mary Franklin along with Michelle Smith. We hope you make it a happy and healthy day.
Another dimension of Life Quest, which is clear during the holidays, is the spiritual dimension. All this week, we are talking with retired pastors who live at Shell Point and are continuing their service in unique ways. Emerson Ross of Periwinkle was a traveling man. He had 12 full-time pastorates in his career, and at least as many interim pastorates. Most recently, he had been driving up to Sebring every week to be their pastor, and now he volunteers to preach at a Chinese church. Let's find out what motivates Emerson to keep on preaching.
My father was a pastor, so they would sometimes tease me and say, "Oh, you'll be another preacher." And I said, "No, that's not something I want to be." But I feel that the call of the Lord to enter the ministry came when I was about 16. And it was a conviction that this is what the Lord wanted me to do. Went to Nyack College, which is on the Hudson, north of New York City. There I met my wife and proceeded to get my training for the ministry. The first church, of course, is a lot of work. You don't have any backlog to rely on. And everything is fresh every week, you know. And in those days, a pastor did everything. It was Sunday morning, it was Sunday night, it was Wednesday night, and running the mimeograph machine and all the other things that went with it. So you were doing everything in that church. It was a rural church in York County in Pennsylvania, made up primarily of Pennsylvania Dutch people, farmers. And here I was, 21 years of age, being chairman of a board of people that were old enough to be my grandparents. And I had never sat on a board. What 20-year-old ever sits on a board? And now suddenly I'm chairman of the board. So that was quite a way to begin. I don't think you want to know about all the, we had 12 pastorates.
Go ahead and run through them.
Is that right? Is that right?
Do the run.
Well, after Osceola came Milton, Delaware. I took about a 400, 500-mile trip south. And then we went to Wilmington, Delaware, northern Delaware. And from there we went to Harrisburg. We were there around 4 years. From there we went to Connecticut, Trumbull, Connecticut. After Trumbull, Connecticut, it was down to Washington, D.C. And then Akron, Ohio. And from Akron, Ohio to Willoughby Hills, Cleveland. And then from there back to Pennsylvania again. We sort of made a circle and we were back to in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And then after Lewisburg, Manassas, Virginia. Manassas, I thought, was my last full-time pastorate. After that, we went into interim ministries. Did 13 interims. They were like 6 months. That took us up into Massachusetts, even over to Hawaii, where we served in Honolulu for about 10 months as an interim pastor. So they were all over the place. So there was 13 interim pastorates and 12 regular pastorates. My last assignment was in the villages. You've probably heard of the villages. Some men are maybe cut out more for long-term ministries. My son-in-law is a pastor, and he's been close to 20 years in one place. But and I think if you are multi-talented and with many gifts, maybe you can stay longer. Then I felt that my gifts maybe were somewhat limited, and maybe in 5 or 6 years or so, I pretty well gave my best to a congregation. The children once in a while would complain about changing schools, you know, and I remember one of my daughters saying, "Well, when I get married, I'm going to stay put." Well, she happened to marry a military man, which took her all over the place. I did one interim since being here. I went to Sebring, traveled back and forth each Sunday and went there for several months. And now I'm ministering at the Chinese church down in Naples, the second Sunday of every month. I speak through an interpreter, and it's sometimes I have to present a manuscript. I usually send it out the first of the week for the following Sunday. And so you really have to reduce your material to about half of what you would normally give. It's a little different. And you have to pause after each phrase or so she can interpret it. It's in your blood, it's a call of the Lord, and the scriptures say the gifts and callings of God are without repentance, which means to me that if He's given you a gift, he wants you to use that as long as you physically are able to do that. There is a special camaraderie, I think, in any profession. Lawyers like to get together, and physicians like to get together, and I'm sure that's true of pastors. We have, and many that I meet here have not met for the first time. Many of them were in college with me, and so it's kind of like a reunion to live at Shell Point. You don't always see the fruit of your labor immediately, but maybe years later someone says, "Do you remember me? You picked me up for Sunday school and took me to church in Sunday school Sunday after Sunday." And that's happened a number of times. Now the person has grown up and is serving somewhere, is in some walk of life, and it's very rewarding, very rewarding.
Coming up, it's time to cover all of Tuesday's happenings from Resort Services. Then stay tuned for your menus and Village Church Connections.
I'm Mary Franklin along with Leslie Brand, and we are pleased to be here today to tell you everything that's happening on Tuesday, December 3rd. We're going to start things off at 7:15 in the morning with Health Connections Bend, Breathe, and Balance with Melanie Brode in the Health Club on the island. Heading to the tennis courts, we have a round-robin men's doubles match taking place at 8 a.m. And at 8:15, Stamp Ministry volunteers will be gathering in the Stamp Room. Head back outdoors at 8:30 for bocce at the Woodlands. Also at 8:30, the Ladies Golf League will be teeing off, and you can choose to play 9 or 18 holes. And at 9 o'clock, if you're signed up, you are going on the Susie Q for a dolphin and sightseeing tour. 9:15, the Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group will be meeting on the second floor in the Rehab Center on the island. Also at 9:15, it's time for open painting in the Art Studio of the island. At 9:30, match play mixed doubles tennis will take place. And we have another Do You Know Your Neighbor? This time we are inviting all Northeasterners. If you grew up, lived in, or spent any time in the Northeast, make sure you're in the Grand Cypress Room at 10 a.m. this morning. There will be treats some of the local favorites will enjoy. Also at 10, Gift Shop Holiday Extravaganza will be taking place from 10 to 2 in the Social Center and the gift shop. Make sure you take your Christmas wish list with you. Buy yourself a gift or buy something for a loved one. And at 10:15, Through the Bible Study Group will be gathering in the Osprey Room on the island. Then at 10:30, the Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group will have its second session. They'll meet in the Rehab Center on the second floor in the pavilion. And 11 a.m., Susie Q heads out again, this time for lunch at Rum Runners. And 11:45, everyone is invited to a Health Connections program, Living Healthy, in the Osprey Room on the island. Leslie?
Thank you, Mary. At 12:30, we start out the Bloodmobile of the Village Church. That goes until 6 o'clock p.m. Also at 12:30, we have Mixed Progressive Bridge in the game room. The Knitters group will meet in the Osprey Room at 1:15. Also at 1:15 is the shuffleboard courts on the island. The Rollicking Recorderists meet in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. And the last 1:15 activity for today is the Women's Ministries Prayer in the Hospitality Room at the Village Church. 1:30 is the Stamp Ministry in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. 2:45 we'll have a Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 in the Health Club. That class is full. And 6:45 we'll end the day with Hymn Sing at the Resident Activity Center on the island. Thank you for tuning in with us today, and we hope you have a fabulous Tuesday.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is Italian sausage and spaghetti with Italian blend vegetables. The dinner special is Pan Fresh Night for $11.95, and the soup of the day is country cabbage. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy a patty melt with grilled onions and fries for $7.25. For dinner, the special is baked chicken with sweet potato and broccoli for $8.25. In the Palm Grill, dinner specials are fried oyster for $14.95 or baked cod for $16.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey, administrator of the Alpha course, which is being offered at Shell Point for the 11th consecutive year. It will run every Tuesday evening from January 14 to March 11, and one Saturday morning, March 1st. Over 18 million people in 169 countries have found answers to many of life's big questions by taking the Alpha course, which is offered by every major U.S. denomination in all 50 states. The course originated in 1977 in Holy Trinity Brompton Church, an Anglican parish church in London. It was in response to young people who were asking, is there more to life than this? The Alpha course presents the basics of the Christian faith. Some people went to Sunday school as children but drifted away from the church, and in this season of life appreciate a refresher course. Others have attended church on and off but would appreciate a review of the basics. Subjects we consider include, why did Jesus die? How can we have faith? Why and how should I pray? Why and how should I read the Bible? Who's the Holy Spirit? There are 3 phases to a typical Alpha evening. Each session begins with a Palm Grill catered dinner served in the Grand Cypress Room. It's followed by a video lecture, and finally a small group discussion. We begin at 4:30 p.m. and end at 6:45 p.m. sharp. The course is free to participants. An Anglican vicar, Nicky Gumbel, gives the video lectures. The atheistic son of a Jewish refugee from Nazi Germany, Nicky studied at both Oxford and Cambridge, becoming a trial lawyer. But when a friend challenged him to read the Bible, he couldn't put it down. Nicky later gave up law to offer grace, becoming a pastor and majoring in the Alpha course. His humor and clarity of expression, coupled with a low-key presentation style, make the fast-moving talks the focus of each evening and a natural lead-in to small group discussions. Alpha focuses on discovery rather than dogma. There are no dumb questions. As people share experiences and opinions, new friendships form. We learn from each other. So are you someone who doesn't attend church, but is seeking spiritual answers? Are you uncertain of your beliefs and open to growing in the faith? Then Alpha is for you. Why not come and join us? You can register today by calling the Village Church at 454-2147. Do it by all means before the end of December. Space is limited, so it fills up quickly. Do come and join us. You'll be glad you did. And thank you for tuning in to Village Church Connections.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we meet the Scrapbooking Group, who use all sorts of craft items to create amazing gifts and books. We'll also talk to Neil Clark, who reunited with his college singing group to record an album more than 50 years later. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, December 3rd. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.